In this video, we are looking at a great new option for a camera bag or an everyday bag. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Eric. On this channel, we talk about all things photo and video. And in today's video, we are checking out the WANDRD PVKE Lite. But before we jump into it, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna be doing a lot of reviews on gear like this, and I'm also cooking up some fun tutorials. When it comes to camera bags, I think about it from two different sides. In one situation, I want a bag where I can take just about all my gear. 2 bodies, 3, 4, 5 lenses, and all the accessories that go with it. That could be a wedding, that could be a concert to shoot a band, or it could be traveling on the other side of the world. In the other scenario, I want a smaller, lightweight bag that I can take with me every day, working in and out of cafes, hopping in and out of cars, going on small shoots where I only need one camera with maybe 1 or 2 lenses. And at the same time, I'd want that everyday bag to be able to hold more than just camera gear, because I'm not just shooting every second of the day. I have to go grocery shopping, have to do errands, and my bag should help with that. With that in mind, I picked up this bag to use as my everyday carry option. I already have another bag I use to haul around my entire kit and all of my accessories. If you want to see a video breakdown on that bag, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to do that one soon. Okay, so this is the WANDRD PVKE Lite. A lot of you might be aware of the WANDRD PVKE backpack. It's a really popular backpack for photographers. It first came out a few years ago. I think it was 2018. I think the original bag launched on a Kickstarter. They recently came out with the version 2 a few years ago, and now they have the Lite version. Now, as the name would suggest, the Lite version is a lot smaller than the other WANDRD PVKE bags. The other ones come in 21 liters, 31 liters, and 41 liters. This bag is 15 liters with the roll top down, and the size combined with some of the other features built into the bag make this a really great choice for everyday use, not just when you're trying to haul around camera equipment. And that was something that was particularly important to me on my latest bag search. You see, I don't always haul around all my camera gear. You know, I work from cafes a lot, I'm traveling a lot. Sometimes I just need to bring my computer and accessories, or maybe my computer and just one camera and one small lens. I don't always need a big bag to haul all of my equipment around. I live in a city, I live in Bangkok, Thailand, which is a huge metropolis. I'm often walking around on and off of motorbike taxis. I can be getting on the SkyTrain, and so I wanted a bag that was also conducive to that kind of environment. And I'm happy to report I think this bag is perfect for people like me living in a city that are working in and out of cafes, or they're working remotely and that sometimes need to haul around some gear, but at the same time don't need to take their entire kit with them every time they go out. So let me jump into some of the features, and you guys can let me know what you think. Starting on the outside here, I love this material the bag is made out of. Most of the bag is covered in this tarpaulin material. It feels kind of the same as those big inflatable rafts like the military would use or something like that. Super heavy duty. This material, I believe, is waterproof. The bag overall is very water resistant, although the bag itself is not waterproof, obviously, because it's a roll top. So if you submerge this in water, the water is gonna get in. But if you're caught in a rainstorm or something like that, even without the optional rain cover, I think this bag is pretty solid. I live here in Thailand, as I said, and the rain can get pretty crazy. I feel great with this bag, protecting my stuff like my computer, my camera, whatever. You can even see on the zippers, they are YKK zippers, and they have these little, I don't know what you call it, I'll call them like zipper garages. The zippers pull into these little hoods so that water that's coming down doesn't get into those cracks as easily. That kind of design choice is why I love WANDRD as a company so much. They've really put a lot of thought into details like that. So anyway, the bag is made out of this really great material. The top roll top portion, I believe, is ballistic nylon. It's very heavy duty in my opinion. I don't see this stuff wearing very easily. And there's some Velcro here to keep the flap down. I really love the materials they chose for this bag. WANDRD bags are not cheap. It is a premium product, and I think you get premium materials. Flipping the bag around now, This is the side on your back. You've got a ton of cushioning here, which is great if you're walking around with this bag all day. I've worn a lot of camera bags, a lot of everyday bags. I recently did a video on the Peak Design Everyday Zip. I'll put that video right here. And although I liked that bag, one of the things I didn't like about it was just the comfort factor. When the bag was fully loaded, I felt like there wasn't much padding on the back or on the straps. And when you're walking for a while with it, I felt like it got pretty uncomfortable. This bag is the complete opposite. It's got so much padding. It is so comfortable. If anything, I feel like there's a little too much bulk on this bag from padding, which I think is kind of contrary to the whole minimalistic light size. There's still like a lot of bulk in the padding. And also, like, I don't know why WANDRD does this. There are these little like D-ring loops, and I guess these are for clipping in accessories or a carabiner or something. I can see this being helpful on some of the bigger bags, but for the light version, I wish they removed some of this stuff just to keep the size a little bit smaller. Speaking of changes on this bag from the bigger versions, this bag does not have the secret passport pocket down here. The larger versions have kind of a hidden pocket here, and the zipper's behind this band, and you can put a passport or money or any other documents that you don't want other people to see. You can put it down here. Well, this bag does not have it. I'm not sure if they removed certain details like that because of the size of this bag or to keep the cost down. But either way, this bag is missing some key features like that from its older siblings. Another change from the larger sizes of this bag is there is a missing pocket right here. On the larger sizes, there's a little pocket right here that's perfect for throwing in like your keys, your AirPods, anything small that you just want to pop in there. This bag doesn't have it, and I really, really wish it did, because one of the things I'm always taking in and out of my pockets are things like my AirPods or a small USB charger. That pocket is perfect for it, and they removed it. Again, I don't know if it's because of cost reasons or just because the bag was physically too small to accommodate so many things, but I wish it had that little pocket. On the top of the bag, it does have a fleece lined pocket up here, and this does the job, but it is rather small. And as you'll see when we open the bag, it can get in the way a little bit from time to time if it's overly packed. So this pocket is great, but I do wish there was another 1 or 2 places on the outside of the bag that you can store little items. And before I forget, there actually is a giant pocket on this side of the bag. You know, when I first got this bag, I wasn't sure what I would do with this because it's rather flat, and so I wasn't sure if you could stick anything in there besides a magazine or a book or something flat, but I actually store my charger in there and my cable for my MacBook computer. I can put it right in here and it's fine. It doesn't sit completely flush, but this material is a little bit stretchy and form-fitting, so as long as it's not too big, you can kind of jam whatever into this little section right here. Coming around to the side of the bag, I'm going to show you one of my favorite features of this bag. So here is the water bottle pocket. Now, a lot of camera bags either have a loose, floppy water bottle pocket, or they have an elastic water bottle pocket that's not quite tight enough, but also it's a little too loose for certain items. WANDRD did a great job with this design. The pocket here has a zipper, so when you don't need it, the pocket lays completely flush against the bag. But when you do need the space, you can open this up, and there's also an elastic so it can expand. I can fit a water bottle in here of pretty much any size unless it's one of those like gigantic metal ones. I'm not sure if that would fit exactly, but I've had no problem fitting anything in here. And if you've got something that's not quite so big, you can just open this pocket halfway, and that way it still has tension and your item won't fall out. So I've got this little mini tripod right here. I use this for vlogging or for setting up shots on a little table or something, and I can pop this in right here and it stays tight against the bag. If this was open all the way, it's okay, but it kind of wobbles around. There's potential that this could fall out, especially like I said, if you're in a city and you're running around or you're on a trip, you're traveling, you know, sometimes your bag gets tipped upside down or whatever. It's really nice that you can make this tight and that it just helps your things be a little more secure. I really, really like this design. So let's zip this back up and come around to the other side. And on the other side, instead of a water bottle pocket, you've got side access to the interior camera compartment. Now, I want to point out another difference here is on the bigger bags, the camera compartment door has a little zipper pocket for batteries or accessories. This one does not have that. Again, I wish it did. I'm not sure if it's because of cost savings or the size of the bag or whatever, but there is no storage right here, and I think that would have been great, even if it was just like a little mesh pocket here or like a little mesh elastic holder just to hold some things, like even a pen or like a cleaning cloth or something like that. And you may notice these little tabs on the outside of the bag, and you might think, what are these for? Well, you can buy these optional accessory straps that go across here, and then that way you can strap other items to the bag, or you can also get one of WANDRD's tech pouches and attach that to the back of the bag. And that's kind of cool because, for example, you could grab one of their tech pouches, I think the larger one would probably be a good size, and put your whole drone kit in there. If you have a smaller drone, you can put the drone kit in there, battery, controller, whatever, and then when you go out for a shoot, just attach that to the back of the bag. Or if you've got like a GoPro setup and you don't always take that with you, you can keep that in one of the tech pouches, and when you go out for a specific shoot, you can attach that to the back of the bag. So that makes it a little modular, and it gives you some extra space on the outside if you're running out of space on the inside. Before we head into the inside of the bag, I just want to point out one more thing that I know I'm gonna get questions about. So you may notice I have my Peak Design capture clip right here. I love this little accessory. If you do not have one of these, you should get one. This little guy just helps me clip my camera in right here, and it's great for when you're walking around and you need your hands for a minute. You can just clip your camera in and know it's locked and safe. I did see a lot of questions online before I bought this about whether or not you can get one of these capture clips onto a WANDRD PVKE bag because the straps are pretty thick and they're also pretty wide and sort of just an odd shape. But I can confirm you can get the clip on there. It may have to be slightly lower than you would have preferred. You know, maybe you would have put it up here and now it's, you know, a few inches lower, but it's really no problem. It fits on there just fine. Now let's break into the bag. And first you'll see that these straps just come apart with magnets. Love the magnets. Who doesn't love a good magnet on a bag? These are pretty good at staying together. I do wish they were a little stronger magnets because sometimes they get caught on something or they just fall apart for whatever reason, but I understand magnets are also probably one of the most expensive things that you can put in a bag, so that's probably why they don't go crazy with the magnets. So let's crack this baby open. So it opens with a clamshell design, which is very common in camera bags. Usually you either have a clamshell design like this, or you've got that kind of like side access design that the Peak Design Everyday Backpack and the Everyday Zip has. Again, I already did a video on that bag, so you can watch it at the link down below. And so when you open this up, you'll see in the lid here, we can start with the laptop sleeve. So my 14-inch MacBook Pro fits in here absolutely perfectly. I don't know if that would go bigger than this. I don't know if the 15 or 16-inch MacBook Pro will really fit in here very well, but the 14-inch fits perfectly. One difference between this and the larger WANDRD bags is that the larger ones have a separate tablet sleeve. So you can have both your laptop and your tablet separate and both protected, and that's really nice to have. But I totally understand why they removed it from this bag, because I think the bag would just get too bulky at that point and there's just not enough space to accommodate all of those things. So you could throw your computer in there, and then you've got this little Velcro tie that comes down and keeps it shut. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing, and the reason is because when you're out and about and you're opening the bag quickly, it does prevent your computer from just flying out of the bag as you open it, or like spilling out if the lid is angled down. So I get why they put this here. At the same time, when you're working on a daily basis, you're just trying to get your computer in and out, it's another step to have to unvelcro this, pull the computer out, put it back. And I have tried just like ignoring it and not using it, but inevitably it does get caught on the computer if you don't use it, and it just gets a little annoying sometimes. So love it or hate it, they have this little thing here. I guess it's for the best if it's going to protect your computer. Also on the inside lid of the bag are two small pockets up here, and they can just fit small accessories in here. Like I think I have a battery in this one, and the other one I think I put an air tag and maybe just like some lens cleaner or something like that here. In the bottom section, there is a long skinny pocket here. And honestly, you really can't fit that much in these pockets. That's one thing I wish, is that there was a bigger storage section down here. I watched one of WANDRD's videos online, and they said they intentionally didn't fill this area with too many pockets because they didn't want too much bulk in this part of the bag leaning down onto your camera gear. Personally, I wish they just put the pockets and then I could decide if I overfilled the bag or not, but that's why they said they didn't add too many pockets in this section. Right now, the only thing I have in the bag is a sweatshirt that I just pretty much take around with me everywhere. And as you will see, the entire bottom of the bag here is this felt-lined material, and there are no dividers in here right now. That's because I took the dividers out at the moment. The difference with the camera cube section, that's this part, between this version of the bag and the larger sizes, is that in this version, the camera cube is built into the bag. Whereas with the 21, 31, and 41 liter sizes, the camera cube is a separate piece entirely that can get fully taken out of the bag and removed. Personally, I like this design a lot better, and the reason is because when you have a separate camera cube in the bag, it adds a lot of extra bulk and thickness to the bag that's not actually useful. When you have all that extra padding between the bag and the camera cube, it's just wasted space, in my opinion. By having the felt and the camera cube built into the bag itself, you don't need that extra fabric, that extra thickness inside of the compartment, which gives you the most space possible. In fact, I believe I read that the PVKE Lite, this version of the bag, has the same storage capacity as the 21 liter size, because the 21 liter has the camera cube that goes in, and that takes up a lot of the space of the compartment. Whereas this bag has more usable space because the cube is built in as part of the bag itself. And that's not to say that this bag can hold any extreme amount of gear. To be honest, even my A7 IV is a bit tight in here. For example, the side door access is not that big. So if you have something like an A7 IV and a professional lens, like one of the big zoom lenses, it is tricky to get it in and out of the side of the bag. On the other hand, if you're using a smaller camera like the A7C or an APS-C or crop sensor camera like the A6400 or the Fuji cameras, then this bag is perfect because you don't need that extra depth for those size cameras. So this one really is an ideal fit in that case. Coming up to the top half of the bag now, this little cover is actually the fleece pocket that I showed you earlier. It's actually integrated into this cover. And what's cool is you can just grab these two little tabs and rip it open to get access. So you can see in here right now, I have a little accessory pouch. I also have some supplement for my, my diet I'm doing. Just stuff that I take around every day. It's super easy to get access to everything when the bag is laid out like this. Also, I want to mention you have a choice whether to divide the bag into this lower section within this upper section, or use the entire space of the bag by just removing this little divider and folding it down. So they make it easy to use it as like a full giant compartment, or separate it so there's kind of like a little attic area and then a lower area. Personally, this is the way I use it. I use it with the divider so that I can put things like this in the top, and I can put bigger, bulkier things in the bottom. Probably my number one complaint about this bag is something that would be easily fixed. I don't know why they don't do it. And that is that it can be very difficult to find items in this bag if you don't know exactly where they are, because the interior of the bag is black. All of the fabric is black. It's basically just a giant black hole, especially when you unroll the top and look inside. It's very difficult to find what you're looking for. But what I noticed is on the other colors of the PVKE Lite, the blue, the desert tan, or whatever color it is, they made the interior match the outside color of the bag. And that's so perfect because when you have accessories like this that are black, or like I showed you, I have this little cable case that's black, when it's inside of the bag, it would be so much easier to find those items, especially if they're small. And that's something that I really liked about the Peter McKinnon everyday backpack. The bag is black on the outside, but the inside kind of has this gold color, and it makes it so much easier to identify all of your items. I really wish they made the interior of the black bag some other color, even if it was like a light gray. It would just make my life a lot easier when I'm digging around in the dark trying to find something. I'm gonna zip this back up right now, and That's not to say this is the only way to use this bag. There are tons of ways you can utilize this system. I took the dividers out for now, but there's tons of ways to configure the inside, whether you're trying to hold a lot of gear or just a little gear. They give you a lot of dividers to kind of figure out the best way that you want to do it. And the last thing I'm going to show you is just the roll top. So if you've never used a roll top bag before, I will admit it takes some getting used to, but now that I've been using it for a while, I do sort of love it because it just gives you that flexibility of packing different size things at a moment's notice. So if I go to the grocery store and decide I need to pick up a bunch of items, it's super easy. I just unroll this, throw all my stuff in this top section, and I'm good to go. But then when I'm not using it, when I don't need that much size, this just gets rolled down and the bag is sort of this minimal package again. The downside of this, like I mentioned a second ago, is just that finding gear can sometimes be a little more difficult than it otherwise would be. There are some other bag designs like the Peter McKinnon Everyday Bag or the Low Pro Tactic Bag where they have this like top opening. Same thing with the Peak Design Everyday Backpack or the Everyday Zip. They have a top opening, so it's very easy to pop the top open, reach in and get your camera and take it out. This bag, it's a little less conducive to that. It's better for just throwing a bunch of stuff in the top and letting it pile up, but not so great for trying to pull something specific or delicate out of it like a camera. So what are my final thoughts on this bag? Well, if you need a good everyday bag, if you are someone like me that lives in a city and you're running around a lot, if you are going into all kinds of weather conditions, I think that this is a great option for you. Between the materials, the design of the bag, this is great for someone that's on the go a lot but doesn't want to haul around a giant camera backpack. On the other hand, if you need to take a lot of gear with you, if you have a lot of accessories that you need to keep organized like filters and lens pens and SD card cases, this is definitely not the bag for you. This is good for someone that maybe is just vlogging a little bit with one camera and one lens and just a small microphone, or someone that's a photographer with 1 or 2 or 3 lenses and maybe their camera setup isn't so big. That is a much better situation for this bag. I love the attention to detail. Like when I put the bag down like this, I just remembered they put this other nylon material on the bottom to help protect the bag so it doesn't wear earlier than it should. And yeah, just love WANDRD. I hope they come out with another camera bag and I'll probably buy that one too. So I hope this video was helpful in deciding whether the WANDRD PVKE Lite is a good fit for you. Obviously, as much as I like the bag, I know it's not good for everyone. Let me know what you like or don't like about it and what you think they should fix for version 3. And if you want to see more videos on camera bags and gear, hit the subscribe button and I will see you in the next video.